Episode 127, Project Blue Beam. Is NASA planning a fake alien invasion? Welcome back to the Conspiracy Theory Analyst. I'm Robin. In 1994, a Canadian journalist named Serge Monast published a document describing what he claimed was a secret NASA program. Its goal: to stage a fake alien invasion using advanced holographic technology, beam synthetic voices directly into human minds via satellite, and use the resulting global panic to justify abolishing national governments and imposing a single world government. Monast called it Project Blue Beam. He died in 1996. The theory disappeared from mainstream view for years. Then, in late 2024, mysterious drone sightings over New Jersey generated national attention in the United States. Nobody in official positions could explain where they came from, and Project Blue Beam returned to viral circulation, this time viewed millions of times on social media, cited by prominent commentators, and described by some as the explanation for the drones. Tonight we examine the theory, where it came from, what it actually claims, and what the evidence shows. Detailed explanation. Serge Monast was a French-Canadian writer and self-described investigative journalist who circulated in conspiratorial and Christian fundamentalist circles. In 1994, he claimed to have uncovered evidence of a NASA program designed to usher in a new world order through four sequential phases of staged supernatural events. Phase 1 involved faking archaeological discoveries, finding supposed ancient religious artifacts that would appear to disprove the major world religions, causing mass crisis of faith. Phase 2 involved projecting enormous three-dimensional holograms into the sky globally, images of religious figures, alien craft, or other entities designed to convince populations that a divine or extraterrestrial event was occurring. The sky itself would become a screen. Phase 3 involved using satellite technology to beam synthetic voices and thoughts directly into the minds of individuals, making each person believe they were hearing the voice of their own God or their own inner consciousness. Phase 4 involved the staged alien invasion itself. Simulated extraterrestrial attacks, combined with supernatural manifestations, convincing populations that the apocalypse was occurring, making them willing to accept any authority that promised safety. The intended endpoint was a global totalitarian government, replacing all existing national authorities, with a single unified world religion replacing all existing faiths. Monast claimed to have died from a heart attack 2 years after publishing the theory. His supporters alleged he was assassinated to silence him. No evidence of foul play was found. Core elements of the theory. The first element is the holographic projection technology. The theory's central technological claim is that NASA possesses holographic projection systems capable of creating convincing three-dimensional images across portions of the sky large enough to be seen across regions or globally. No such technology exists. The physics of holographic projection require a medium, typically smoke, water vapor, or a physical screen, and cannot create freestanding images in open sky at scale. Military research into atmospheric optical effects exists, but nothing approaching the capability the theory describes has ever been demonstrated or documented. The second element is the synthetic telepathy claim. The theory holds that satellite systems can transmit voices and suggestions directly into the human mind, bypassing hearing through electromagnetic influence. Research into the theoretical effects of specific electromagnetic frequencies on the nervous system exists in the literature, and there are documented experiments in this area. However, the capability for mass population scale direct-to-mind transmission of coherent content has never been demonstrated. The gap between laboratory curiosity and global mind control is vast. The third element is the 2024 drone sightings. In November and December 2024, thousands of reports of unidentified drones over New Jersey and New York generated significant public and official attention. The FBI investigated and could not definitively identify the source of all the reported drones. Some sightings were identified as conventional commercial drones, aircraft, or misidentified conventional objects. The genuine uncertainty about the origin of some sightings created a vacuum that Project Blue Beam rapidly filled on social media, a post claiming we, our FD the drones, our Project Blue Beam, was viewed 7.8 million times on one platform within days. The fourth element is the 2026 UFO disclosure context. In the broader environment of UAP congressional hearings, government acknowledgement of unexplained aerial phenomena, and official file releases, the Project Blue Beam theory has gained new relevance for some believers, who argue that the UAP disclosure process itself is phase one of Blue Beam, designed to condition the public for an eventual staged alien event. Evidence for and against the evidence against Project Blue Beam is comprehensive. No credible evidence, no leaked document, no whistleblower testimony, no satellite imagery, no technical demonstration has ever been produced to support the existence of the program. The technologies described, mass-scale sky holography and population-scale synthetic telepathy, do not exist in any publicly documented form. NASA has officially denied the existence of any such program. Monast's own account bears striking resemblance to an unproduced Star Trek script and several 1980s science fiction novels, leading some researchers to suggest his source was fictional rather than documentary. His claimed insider sources were never verified and have never independently confirmed his account. The drone sightings that reignited the theory in 2024 were investigated by the FBI, military, and multiple state authorities. No evidence of a coordinated false flag operation was found. The evidence that gives the theory its recurring appeal is the convergence of three genuinely present factors: advancing deepfake and holographic technology that makes large-scale deception feel more plausible, genuine government acknowledgement of unexplained aerial phenomena that confirms some form of information has been withheld, and the persistent human concern that the governments and institutions that govern our lives might fabricate reality for their own ends. None of these factors constitute evidence of Project Blue Beam's existence, but they create the psychological conditions in which the theory finds ready audiences. Arguments in favor believers argue that the rapid advancement of deepfake technology, AI-generated media, and military atmospheric research means that the capability for staged reality has become more plausible than when Monast proposed it in 1994. They note that governments have documented histories of using staged events for political purposes, from Operation Northwoods, a 1962 U.S. military proposal to stage fake Cuban attacks as a pretext for invasion, to the documented disinformation campaigns around Area 51 discussed earlier in this podcast. They also argue that the 2026 UAP disclosure environment, in which governments are for the first time officially acknowledging unexplained aerial phenomena, is consistent with a conditioning phase preparing the public for something larger. Arguments against security researchers and technology experts note that the technologies required for Project Blue Beam at the scale described are not merely unavailable. They are physically impossible with any conceivable near-term technological development. Creating convincing sky-scale holograms requires a medium that does not exist in open air. Population-scale synthetic telepathy requires a mechanism for targeting individual human minds from orbit that no known physics supports. The Operation Northwoods comparison is instructive in a different way than believers intend. The proposal was rejected, and when it was revealed through declassification, it demonstrated that institutional checks do sometimes prevent the worst proposals from being implemented. Public opinion and broader impact. Project Blue Beam occupies a specific niche in conspiracy culture. It is the theory that explains all other unexplained events as elements of a stage program. UAP sightings are conditioning. Drone sightings are rehearsals. Religious experiences are synthetic. Every unusual phenomenon becomes evidence not of something genuinely unknown, but of a known plan in progress. This totalistic quality, its capacity to absorb and explain every anomaly, makes it unfalsifiable by design. Its resurgence in 2024 and continued circulation in 2026 reflects a genuine public desire for an explanation of the unexplained, particularly in an era when UAP disclosure has confirmed that some things in the sky have not been fully accounted for. Conclusion: is NASA planning a fake alien invasion? The documented evidence, the absence of any verified documentation, the physical impossibility of the described technologies, and the lack of any credible insider confirmation across 30 years, points clearly to no. For believers, the unfalsifiable structure of the theory means that every denial, every absence of evidence, and every technological gap is itself part of the deception. For skeptics, a theory that cannot in principle be disproved is not a theory, it is a belief system. What is certain is this: the sky is full of unexplained things. Governments have withheld information about some of them. And the human desire to believe that someone has a plan, even a terrifying one, is often more comforting than the alternative. This is the Conspiracy Theory Analyst. I'm Robin. If tonight's episode made you think, please rate and follow on Spotify. Tomorrow on the Conspiracy Theory Analyst, the real story behind the Jonestown Massacre. CIA experiment gone wrong? That's next.